The reason why everyone doesn't have to experience every timeline is because everyone is clearing different timelines. And through us acknowledging and observing each other's situations, we don't have to walk every single path. Hey guys, it's Naija. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I don't know exactly where this chat is gonna go, but we're gonna roll with it. If you hear panting in the background, I just took my dog on a walk and she is recovering. And if you hear dogs barking outside, my neighbor's dogs are going crazy across the street. And I was having this thought before I started talking, before I turned on the camera. And I was like, why are there always so many distractions right before we decide that we're going to take action? For example, in my case, I feel like every time I sit down in front of the camera, I want to record something, there is lawnmowers going outside, people mowing the grass, there's dogs barking chaotically, there's my dog panting crazy, right? And so this is not what the video was meant to be about, but let's go here for a second. The guides want us to be aware of the distractions, and notice how the distractions present themselves when you are on the path of doing something that you are divinely guided to do. Because trust and believe, this is the universe testing to see, are you really going to do what you've been initiated to do, what you've got the inclination or insight to do, right? When you get the divine guidance to go here, go there, do this, do that, right? And the distractions arise. Understand, this is the adversary, right? Some people, like, if you're religious, they'll call this the devil, or the, you know, people be like, the enemy is out to get us, the enemy is putting the distractions in the face. No, actually, I would just call it, because we're in a reality of duality, the adversary. The adversary wants to put distractions in your way, but it is like testing if you're really going to do what you said you were going to do, even when the distractions arise, right? There's like always these very subtle tests, so many subtle tests. Anyway, yes, okay, so right now we are going to be seeing a lot of people. I mean, we've already been seeing a lot of people, but this is what's popping up for me right now. Okay, you're gonna start seeing a lot of people be activated into their gifts and their talents, and you're going to see them being activated and living the life that they are designing and creating. I know social media makes it look like some people just live this grandiose, larger than life reality, and it's not to make people jealous, but I'm hearing it's to show you what is possible. When people are living extravagant lives on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, whatever the case may be, trust and believe their life is not always candy, gumdrops, rainbows, and unicorns, but they are showing you, they represent a window into a potential timeline that you too have access to. You guys know I always say in my videos, you never have to be jealous of somebody who has something that you want, or has something that you desire, or is living the life that you desire to live, is going on the vacations you want to go on, has the relationship you want, has the house you want, the family you want, whatever the case may be. They are showing you what is possible. We are all mirror reflections of each other. And so how I've been training my mind lately is when something really incredible happens, to my friends, my family members, somebody that I'm close to, somebody that I know, or even someone that I'm just witnessing on the internet, on social media, I start celebrating everyone's wins. You guys tap into this. Start celebrating everyone's wins. Let me tell you why. Because we are all connected. Not only are we mere reflections of each other, but we are also connected to each other. So a win for somebody else simultaneously represents a win for yourself. Okay? Somebody at your job wins an award. You won the award, right? Somebody just won the lottery. That means you won the lottery, right? Your best friend just fell in love and found the man of her dreams. That means you just fell in love and found the man of your dreams. Do you understand that by witnessing timelines, by witnessing other people experiencing and creating their reality, by rejoicing with them, by getting excited with them, your brain does not know the difference of, oh, it's their win or it's my win. It just knows excitement. It knows the endorphins are going, right? And so this is it's really big, especially on the earth playing ground. We are getting to this point of unification. This is why I'm saying this. Unification, the timeline of unification. The more we unify, meaning that we are noticing we are all mere reflections of each other. Therefore, there is no competition. Therefore, there is no lack. Therefore, there is no separation, right? What you see happen to one person is what is happening to all people. When we can acknowledge that we are all one, and I know it sounds super cheesy, hippy dippy, spirituality, whatever, to say this, but it's so true, so true, so true, so true. When we realize that we are all one, it is collapsing timelines, meaning that we do not have to experience everything in life that there is to experience, because we can experience things through each other. If you want to start tapping into your desired timeline, and we all want to tap into our desired timeline because that is what we're here for, to intentionally create the reality that we desire to have. Being on the earth plane gives us the opportunity and allowance to experience anything we want to experience, right? And even through viewing other people experience these grandiose timelines through social media and other things like this, when you learn to celebrate other people, again, lack is an illusion. So when you see someone having something that you want and you celebrate them as if it is you yourself experiencing that timeline as well, there is no lack. You're tapping in and tuning into the frequency of having what you want, okay? That brings and attracts it to you even faster, because you're not looking from the outside in like, oh, lucky for them, they get this, lucky for them, they get that. No, it's, oh my God, they're experiencing this and I am so excited for them as if it is me, right? I'm tapping into the energy of having it myself just by being excited and proud for them having it, okay? Again, this is unification. We are collapsing timelines, because you guys know there was a split of timelines and everyone is kind of on their own fragmented reality, right? But when we can have empathy for each other and put ourselves in someone else's shoes, whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing, right? Like having empathy could also be like, dang, I see this homeless person sitting on the side of the road and it sucks that they are in that situation, predicament. I see myself in them. God forbid I were in on that timeline where, you know, that were my reality, right? So you just being conscious and aware, noticing that God consciousness exists in that homeless person as well, right? Empathizing with them, experiencing that reality, which we don't know. Maybe they asked to experience that reality to humble themselves, to give them insight on a particular whatever, right? Maybe they're clearing karma in their timeline, whatever the case may be, right? But you acknowledge them, right? And you send the energy of love and support or whatever, right? This is you empathizing with them. This is you seeing the mirror reflection. This is you seeing the God consciousness in everyone and in everything. And just like that, we are unifying. The reason why everyone doesn't have to experience every timeline is because everyone is clearing different timelines. And through us acknowledging and observing each other's situations, we don't have to walk every single path. I'll give you an example. Do you guys know how, like, in the Bible, they always talk about, like, oh, Jesus did this so we wouldn't have to. Jesus died on the cross so we don't have to. Jesus did this so we don't have to, right? This is a thing. He cleared his existence, cleared particular timelines so that everyone does not have to experience certain things. What does this mean? By him living his life and learning particular lessons and letting his life be a lesson to everyone who witnessed him, and even generations later we're still witnessing and retelling the stories of Jesus, right? Through being able to witness someone else experience what they experience, we don't necessarily need to learn every single lesson, because we can learn lessons through experiencing other people's realities, right? So meaning that maybe you see somebody who is homeless, right? Maybe you will never experience what homelessness is, but because that person has took the initiative in their timeline, in their lifetime, to carry the burden of experiencing homelessness, whether they asked for it or not before they incarnated into their vessel, right? Because they're experiencing it, and because we have the ability to witness their experience, we may never need to experience the trauma or hardship of homelessness. We may never have to experience the trauma or you know, harm of being raped or molested. We may never have to experience the trauma of genocide. We may never have to experience the trauma of, you know, going through the Holocaust or going through slavery, whatever the case may be. Why? Because we are all connected. There are already people who have gone ahead of us, you can call them our ancestors, whatever you want to say, that have walked that path, cleared certain karmas, let their life be a lesson to all, so that everybody does not have to experience the hardships that they had to experience, okay? Because we all come from, this is a little quantum, because we all come from God consciousness, right? Everything and everyone is connected to God consciousness. God exists in the consciousness realm. God started out as consciousness, right? In the beginning, when there was absolutely nothing and God started calling things into existence, God could do that because God started out as consciousness, awareness that, oh my God, I'm in the void. Oh my God, there's nothing here. It's black, it's darkness, right? And then the consciousness says, what would happen if I created light? What would happen if I created the sun, right? The consciousness dreamed up the sun, and boom, there it was, right? And so because we all come from this cosmic consciousness, and we're all fragments and bits of the cosmic consciousness, we don't all have to experience the same things in our lifetimes. In fact, we're all on a mission to experience different things, because God wants to experience everything through us, right? I'm gonna make it make sense. I'm gonna wrap it up with a pretty bow. God wants to experience everything as us, which is why we all experience different things, right? But again, when you see somebody who isn't you experiencing something, remember that that is also you experiencing something, because that person is a fragment of God consciousness. You're a fragment of God consciousness. They're just experiencing that part of what God consciousness wanted to experience. You're experiencing this part of what God consciousness wants you to experience. But remember, when you die and we all go back to the source, right? The soul fragment goes back to the source. We're going to put the collection of all the lives that we've lived back together, because that's why we're doing this. This is why we're doing all of this, so God can experience everything. So back to the point I was making, when you witness other people experiencing their dream timeline, we want to celebrate it. Even when you're experiencing someone having a hardship, going through a hard divorce, going through something really hard in their life, right? Think about what's happening in the Middle East right now with the wars, right, and everything like that. Women not having autonomy over their body, having to fight for their rights. They represent a timeline that is just like us, because once upon a time we also went through this period of having to fight for our rights, right? And so we are all a reflection of each other. Even like what's going on, like the war in Russia, you know, what's going on there, we think, oh, that doesn't affect us. That's not here. That's not here. No, that represents a fragment of us that is still at war with ourselves, okay? When you see two people on the street fighting with each other, right? That represents an aspect of you that is still at war with yourself. If you can argue with anyone, fight with anyone, it is an aspect of you that is still at war with yourself. Why? Because once we remember that we are all one, once we remember we're all oneness, right? If you have the ability to argue outside of yourself, argue with somebody else, that is unresolved trauma or turmoil within yourself. Because when you're resolved within yourself, you don't need to argue or stress your point or opinion to anyone. You're just sovereign in the fact that you know what you know. And you're not trying to convince anyone to believe what you believe or to think what you think. You have sovereignty over your mind and what you think and what you believe. And you give other people sovereignty over their mind and what they think and what they believe. Okay? I don't know know why we had this talk today, but I'm happy we had it, and I hope everyone is doing well. And yeah, that's all I have to say today. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.